we can make a start. Hello, hello, hello. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing? Welcome to the Deliberate Millionaire Stream. I am Rosemary Noni Knight. I am the Prosperity Minister and a business coach for ambitious spiritual people determined to thrive, to prosper, to make at least six figures whilst living in line with their purpose. I believe each one of us get to leave behind the pain, the limiting beliefs of the past, and I help you do that, and rise victorious in your true design life, which is a free, fulfilled, financially abundant, love drenched life if you will claim it. Unfortunately, most people do not. The point of this stream is to help you, to support you in thinking about things differently, and then claim the life that you're actually meant for, your divine right kind of life, your free, fulfilled, financially abundant, love drenched life. How many times can I say that? Free, fulfilled, financially abundant, love drenched life is your birthright. Let us start with the affirmation. I am already loved. I relax because I'm already loved. I am free to be me. Here we go. I am already loved. I relax because I'm already loved. I am already loved. I relax because I'm already loved. And one more time. I am already loved. I relax because I'm already loved. I am already loved. I relax because I'm already loved. I am free to be me. I am free to be me. I am free to be me. I relax because I'm already loved. I am free to be me. I am free to be me. I am free to be me. I relax because I'm already loved. I relax because I'm already loved. I relax because I'm already loved. Woo! You're already loved and you can relax. Except, do you know this? Do you know this for a fact? We're talking about reclaiming your value because a lot of us struggle sometimes with self worth, with self acceptance. Are you one of those that struggles a little bit with that? Do you know that you struggle a little bit with it? Do you see where it shows up? And I want to just have this quiet conversation, particularly with you guys who have been either religious or have once upon a time been religious, or maybe you were brought up by people who are religious or whatever. One of the things that really caused me to struggle with a deep sense of a lack of self-worth, a lack of feeling of being enough. One of the things that caused me to struggle was actually the religious dogma I was brought up in. I had been brought up originally Catholic, and then I decided to go full blown Christian. I kind of consider them both to be Christian, but I'm not sure Catholics or Christians consider Catholics to be Christian. I don't even know. There's all kinds of manners of craziness going on there. But whichever way, the one of the things that I was taught was this whole worm of the earth concept. And even if you listen to some of that, I was obviously brought up Christian, so there were certain songs, even to this day, that I cannot listen to anymore, about how, oh, you look down on me and you love me. How could you love me? Because I am so unworthy and I am so wrong, and yet you deign to love me, and oh, and all of that stuff. And I was brought up on this thinking of being unworthy, and then somehow, because the divine is so amazing, he just decided that he was going to pick me up from the dirt and then turn me into a beloved child or something, which also goes against the stuff that I was also taught about, the divine creating everything in 7 days, and on the seventh day or whatever, he looks at everything and says it's good. But somehow we went from that to humans are worm of the earth and need to beg for forgiveness and need to be saved and need and so unworthy and all of that stuff, worm of the earth ultimately. And that thinking really seeped into my psyche and made me almost always feel this groveling need to appease, need to prove myself, need well, and the problem with when you're coming from that level of thinking, the proving yourself, you never get there because you've been told and told and told and told and believed and believed and believed that you are not worthy without this external thing that was going to come and save you, the blood of the lamb or something along those lines, that's going to come and save you. And I get it. I get it. I don't want to take away from these things. They have their place. It's just when it starts to affect your ability to see who you are, that you are also, regardless of what some parts of this teaching, there's also the other sides of these teachings that tell you that you're created in the image and likeness of the divine. And I would suggest to you that if you're going to take one of those two, that you take the one of being created in the image and likeness of the divine, rather than you are worm of the earth. I would suggest very strongly that you drop completely the concept of worm of the earth. You drop completely any songs, any thinking that would make you feel in some way less than. Because it is insidious how it just sinks into you. It makes you feel that you have to settle for whatever life throws at you because you are less than, and you should count yourself blessed that you even have food to eat, basically, or that you are, and it can be cloaked in, I'm just grateful for everything that I have. And yeah, there's room for gratitude. Absolutely. Gratitude is an essential emotion, essential feeling to generate and to cultivate. However, it can come from a place of, oh, I'm so thankful for every little to 2 cents that I got and every little grain of sand that happened to come my way. I'm so grateful because really I'm only worth nothing. I'm only worth none of that. And I'm not worth anything. So that I even got a grain of sand, I'm so grateful. No. That kind of thinking does not lend itself to you living in your purpose profitably at all. You will not allow it to happen. If you truly do believe that you have to somehow appease and make it up to the divine, because the divine is so, I mean, and the divine is amazing, absolutely, no doubt about this. However, again, you can come from a place of recognizing the divine is amazing, and so are you, okay, and so are you. Or the divine is amazing and you are just so horrible, and that the divine even noticed you is just such a blessing. That kind of thinking, again, the divine doesn't need it from you, okay? And sometimes this religious dogma can teach you that the divine needs you to be small in order for the divine to feel big. Again, when you really think about that, that's horrible. It's a horrible thought that imagine you as a parent, if you're a parent, imagine you as a parent that the only way for you to feel good is if your child is feeling bad. Basically, if your child is feeling really small and glorifying your name, then you feel good and then you feel happy. What kind of horrible characteristics do we assign to the divine, really? Do we? Yeah. When you think about what you're thinking about, if you were brought up in this way, you realize it is seriously flawed and it's seriously psycho, actually, as well. Some of the stuff we allow ourselves to believe without question. You are worthy of the best of everything. You are not here on planet Earth to be tested, to learn lessons, to prepare yourself for the next life, to just put up with any old thing because that's what the divine wants and you have to just put up with it. No, it's a lie. A lie, a lie, a lie, a lie that I sometimes think was maybe created to make people who are suffering right now just feel as if, at least there's something to look forward to in the next life, instead of giving them the courage and the motivation and the push to go after more, to go after more. It's this feeling. Sometimes I think that it was these kinds of thoughts were generated to just kind of make people happy with nothing. Do not join those people. Maybe it was intentionally good. Maybe the intention was originally good, but now it's horrible. As an ambitious spiritual person, if this kind of thinking is in your mind, drop it. Drop it immediately. Do whatever you need to do. Listen, start journaling out exactly who you now claim to be. You are one with the divine. You are powerful. You are limitless. You are created in the image and likeness of the divine. You come on, you are a little lower than angels or something. These are quotes from the Bible and such. Well, some of them are ultimately, but I want you to find the quotes that help you see who you really are, rather than looking at or listening to nonsensical things telling you you're some kind of worm of the earth and you're not worthy of anything, and you should be grateful that you even have a grain of sand and and all of that nonsense. That religious programming, that maybe the intention was good. I don't even know what the intention was originally. It's not good for you if you have taken on this idea that you have to play small in order to be humble. That's not humility. To downplay what you're capable of, that's not humility. And this kind of thinking, it really eats at your self-worth. And if you've been thinking this way for the last 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, 60, 70 years, honey, it's time that you start rejigging what you've accepted for yourself. Okay? This is one area that I see too frequently, so I must address it. Any religious teaching that tells you that you are less than, that tells you that you are just bad from birth, that tells you of original sin, and you have no choice in the matter. You have to bear the brunt of some mistake that some people made generations and generations ago, but somehow forever you are subject to this nonsense forever. It's a nonsense. It's a nonsense of a nonsense of a nonsense, and it keeps you from living in your purpose because you don't think you're worthy of it. You are. Those dreams, those desires in your heart, they are yours to create if you will allow yourself to create them. So if there's any part of you that thinks in this way, drop it. Another area, I know this is something that happened with me that really ate up my self-worth, which is actually almost in some ways opposite, because I was one of those people that at school, when I was quite young, I was pushed forward in years because I was ahead of my time. So in Nigeria, the things are not done by how old you are; they're done by how brilliant you are. So I was pushed forward and pushed forward and pushed forward until I get into secondary school. I was at least 2, 3 years younger than everybody else in the same school year as me. And then I was sent away to boarding school. My parents intended well. The intention was to help me flourish and to grow and to continue to use my brain and all of that stuff. So much blessings to my parents. However, I was like 8 years old, and I was in boarding school, and I was homesick. I was so terribly homesick, terribly homesick. Everybody else was like 12, and there I am, my 8-year-old self, basically feeling like. And I look at when my daughters were 8, and I can't even, I could not even imagine sending them anywhere personally. But I know it was meant. The intention was good. Okay, so this is not a blame fest for my parents at all, but it is a recognition that it was one of those traumatic in some ways experiences for me, because particularly that first year before my sister came to join me in that school, it was terrible. I felt horrible all of the time. I wanted to cry. In fact, I was crying a lot of the time. I hated it. And what got stuck in my system was this idea that being brilliant was bad, that you would be better off just being like everybody else because then you don't get sent away. And that was a thought that stuck in my brain. And again, it makes you feel unworthy, it makes you feel not good enough, or makes you feel like what you are, you need to hide and be something else or blend in. So, because I even wrote about it in my confidence book, it really ate at my confidence that year. That feeling that and in fact, I started doing really badly at school. Well, not really badly, but I was definitely doing a heck of a lot worse than I was before I went to school that year. And what seeped into my psyche was this idea that I was being punished for being brilliant, and so don't be brilliant. Blend in, be the same as everybody else. Do not allow yourself to stand up, against the tide in some ways, because you will be punished for it. You will be sent away. You will be kicked out for being brilliant. You'll be, yeah. And so that sinked into my psyche. And for some of y'all ambitious spiritual people that you have experienced times when you have been brilliant and you have been punished for it. Either people try to bring you down a peg or two because they just don't like the fact that you're showing them up by being your brilliant self. or just just loved ones not knowing how to handle it, try to do something that they think will help you, but ends up with you being hurt and feeling rubbish. Whichever way, it eats at your self-worth, it eats at your self-acceptance. You start to try and hide parts of yourself so that you do not get punished in the same way again. It's time for you to heal from that. Because if you're going to live in your purpose and to live in your purpose profitably, you cannot have these little ideas lurking in the background of your mind, causing you to play small, causing you to hide your brilliance because the last time you showed it, yeah, people abused you for it or something along those lines. I get it, but I say to you now, if any of what I'm saying here resonates, it's time to heal that part of you so that you stop sabotaging yourself, so that you stop trying to hide the very thing that is going to get you the life that you actually want. Okay? You are worthy of the best of everything. But the only way you claim the best of everything is being all of you, regardless of what you think might happen if you are all of you. Okay? So some people might look at it as some kind of fear of success because that if you get too successful, people might shun you, and they might. But then you'll find other people that don't shun you. In fact, you become more obvious to the right kind of people who need you or want you in their life. Let those that cannot handle your brilliance go. Do not hide yourself in order to keep staying in circumstances that belittle and demean your brilliance. Okay? Own completely all of you and heal that part of you that whatever age that happened at, take the time to do some healing work around it. Come and have a private session with me. I can help you to show you exactly what to do to heal that stuff. You can send me a message about private sessions if you want to find out more about that. Okay, so that's another area that really does cause people to start sabotaging themselves in order to not appear too brilliant and get shot down by the people in their life. Okay, something else is where you feel like everything is always harder for you, that it never comes easy to you. See, especially in these days of social media, I was saying at the very, very beginning before I started recording this, that we're so blessed to live in this day and age where we can reach people from all over the world just by using the internet, by using social media. Great, amazing. The unfortunate side of this as well is that because of social media, you can look at everybody else and think that everybody else is having it a heck of a lot easier than you are. You might feel like you are the only one that is struggling hard. And then you start to tell yourself stories about what that must mean about you. It must mean that you are not worthy. It must mean that you're not good enough. It must mean that what you have to offer the world is not good enough. It must mean that you just need to hide away, or it must mean that nothing will ever happen for you in the way that you want it to. So what's the point of getting your hopes up? You start telling yourself these crazy, stupid stories, which then keep you, again, playing a heck of a lot smaller than you would be otherwise. It makes you start expecting struggle. And then when you're in struggle, when you're in suffering, you just think, well, this is just the way it is. So you don't even think to look for a different way. It eats at your confidence. It eats at your sense of self-worth, because everybody else, of course, is getting easier. So there must be something wrong with you, that the divine is trying to punish you and trying to make your life a little bit harder than everybody else's, and blah, 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 blah. It's not true. It's not true. Now, who knows where the root of that came from? Probably we can dig and find it out, but in some ways it doesn't actually matter the root of where it came from in your life. What matters is that you change it. Now that you start to see that your expectation that things must be difficult for you could be causing you to take actions that make things difficult for you. Because it's, for instance, it's like the coach who's trying to build a business and trying to make more money, but then is charging 10 quid for their sessions, and then telling themselves that everything is always harder for me. Yes, it is harder for you right now because you refuse to charge appropriately for the work that you're doing. But you don't see it that way. You just see it as it's just that it's an ongoing theme in your life, that life is always harder for you than everybody else. And so therefore, it's just the way it is. And so you don't even start to look to see, am I creating my own struggle? Am I creating my own suffering? Maybe there's something practical I can do to change things, but you're not looking there because you're looking at, it's always been harder for me. I know I'm going to have to fight for everything, so I'll just keep fighting. The problem is that this fight that you're in will never end because you are continually sabotaging and shooting yourself in the foot. So if there's a part of you that feels that everything is harder for you and you've kind of built an identity around everything is always harder for me, it's time to change that, because you will not even know where you are the one creating your own pain. Okay, so you need to handle that thinking, and you need to change it around and start telling yourself instead that everything you touch turns to gold, and start looking for examples of it. Start looking for examples of how things go right for you. Start looking for examples of how, yes, whatever you touch turns to gold. Did I say that already? Whichever way. Start looking for those kind of examples instead of continually affirming to yourself, yeah, everything is always harder for me. I suppose I'm just gonna have to pay the price for everything. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't going to be a certain amount of difficulty at times in building a visionary, purpose-driven life. There will be, because you're stepping away from the old version of your life. Absolutely, there sometimes will be a sense of struggle. But if there's that sense inside of you that said it's always harder for me than it is for everybody else, now that's a whole different kind of line of thinking. And you want to address it, or else you won't even know again that you are the one creating your own difficulties, because you expect to be life to be difficult. And it's kind of a really fine balance here, because yes, sometimes life is difficult. There's no way around that. But what you definitely don't want to do is make it even more difficult than it needs to be by doing things that add to your difficulties. Sometimes you just can't see, but this is why getting support instead of trying to do these things alone, it's absolutely essential, because for the most part, most of us do not know when we're getting in our own way. We do not know when we are shooting ourselves in the foot, because you've always lived this way. You live in this little box. You are immersed in your way of thinking, your way of seeing the world. You do not realize that your way is causing you pain. So getting support, getting help, being in a community where you're open and sharing who you are, so that other people can help you notice, or come and work with a coach, come and work with me. I can help you see, even if we just did one session together, I can help you start to see exactly what is getting in your way. Don't don't do this stuff alone, especially if there's certain patterns that just keep repeating in your life. There's something you're not seeing, and you need to see it, or else you get to the end of your life and realize you never really ever escaped a certain level, because you were just going around and around and around under it. As soon as you reach here, you just got to go around and do it all over again around, because you never got support to see, what the heck am I doing to myself? And when you're run by this idea that you're not worthy, or you don't accept parts of yourself because somebody somewhere told you that those parts of you are somehow bad and evil and should be shunned, and you agreed with them, knowingly or unknowingly, and so now you're living this life that you can't seem to break out of, even though you're working very hard to get where you want to go. You need support. You don't need to be trying to do this stuff alone, because sometimes you just can't see the pain and the limiting beliefs that are holding you. And so there you are, trying so hard to break through, and you can't. Get support, my loves. Get support. It is stupid to go through life struggling and refuse to figure out, why the heck am I struggling this hard? When there's even a sense, there's a part of you that thinks it shouldn't be this hard. Again, I know there's going to be struggling and trials in life, absolutely. But there's some that are just self manufactured that you can actually get out of. So, if you are that person who is done with the suffering, done with trying to figure this stuff out alone, I invite you strongly to come into evolution. The link is around this video. If you're on Instagram, you're going to have to send me the word evolution, and I will get the link over to you. But seriously, come into the Deliberate Millionaire Gathering. Come and be part of what I'm building, and come and be part of a group of ambitious spiritual people with this daily ritual that we use to kind of really elevate our thinking. Come and be part of something where you can come and do check-ins, where I will come and support you specifically with whatever you put in that check-in. I'll help you see what might be holding you back, okay? Come and take part in something where you are not surrounded by people who do not understand what you're trying to accomplish with your life, okay? speaking to a client earlier today, and when you're surrounded by people who are happy enough with the life that they have, okay, or have settled for it, and there you are trying to move into your next level, it's difficult. It's difficult to be the way shower when you're still at the beginning of your journey. Yes, at some point you will be strong enough that you can start pulling people up with you. But at the beginning, it's usually them pulling you back down. Okay. So you want to be in a community, you want to be working with someone that is helping you see your potential, helping you see you more completely. So yes, come into evolution or reach out for a private session with me. Okay. Whichever way. Either the link is around this video or you need to send me a message about, yeah, either want a private session or you want to get into evolution. And I'll get the links, I'll get you the information, help you to move forward. You are worthy of the best of everything. You are here on planet Earth to enjoy being here on planet Earth. Please, please allow yourself to step beyond the confines of the life that you have currently created and step into or step up to the life that you're actually meant for. It's time to strip away the pain, the limiting beliefs, the layers that life has placed on you so that you can be your authentic, powerful self. Are you ready? Okay, we'll stop here for today. Until the next time, my loves, go forth and prosper. You are worthy of the best of everything. Much amazing, amazing love.